Hello everybody, and welcome to the D2CL Chinese group stages, where today we're kicking things off with LGD against VG.P. Let's head over straight into the draft, see what we're dealing with, because we're a little bit delayed. We're trying to get things going here, and I can also welcome in Scant once again. What's going on this morning?
Yeah, not too much. Good to see VG Gaming Potential get to match up against one of the top teams in China, because so far we had only watched them in the pre-qualification stage, and they were doing really well there. But it's going to be a different task altogether to compete with one of the top teams in China in LGD.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because CDEC and VG.P both got through the qualifiers, but the teams they were playing against, you know, they weren't up there. They weren't like, you know, HGT and LGD. These are the big dogs now. But we'll see what they do. China over there, it seems like AA is really heavily prioritized, and it always has been, really. It's one of those heroes where they like to be a little bit greedy with. They like to give it a little space and farm as a support. But this is something we used to see so often from Chinese Dota, especially back in Dota 1. You know, you give a little bit of love to your supports, they get one of those items that they need, and they can provide you so much utility and damage in team fights that it really is underrated sometimes in the West. Obviously, over the past year and a half, the European and American teams have definitely caught on. You know, you've got players like Aoi 2000 and such that like to farm up a little bit on their supports, build up those items, and get things rolling.
Yeah, I mean we do see sometimes in China the AA runners the 5 position, but you're right. In general, we are seeing a 4 position get the Midas pick up, and I'll tell you one thing: LGD I think they've won all their games with AA since the Chinese scene kicked off again. In fact, something interesting about LGD, they've played 4 series before this between Starlight and Dota 2 Champions League. And in every series they've played, they've lost the first game. Every single one.
Oh, really?
Against IG, they lost 2-0. Against eHome, they won 2-1, but lost the first game. Then they played eHome again, won 2-1, but lost the first game. And then they played Tongfu, won 2-1, but lost the first game. So, I don't know if there's something with this LGD team that they need, like, a little while to loosen up every series before they actually get into the swing of things. But I do think that VG Gaming Potential is probably the most likely the weakest of the teams they've faced so far. So maybe they'll break that curse today and be able to take the first game. Yeah,
maybe. I can't really think of a reason why that would happen apart from, you know, being a little having some cold hands. But we'll see how LGD do right now. Earthshaker and Shadow Fiend picked up by VG.P, while they ban out the Troll, Batrider, Tidehunter, and Medusa. Banning out Medusa against Silo, yeah, I can see why you do that. While LGD taking out Clockwork and Sniper, they don't want any keen folk running around and hookshotting, sniping people. Juggernaut and Slug, the 2 other bans there, picking up the Venge and AA, so taking their 2 supports quick and easy. But
so one suggestion for why LGD keep losing game 1 is that in most of those game 1s they ran the Naga, and the Naga Siren just seems to not be in the right place right now. So I mean, it doesn't look like they're going there in this draft, because these are not the supports they'd usually pick if they were going for the Naga. So it could just be as simple as that. It could be that every time they start a new series, they're like, let's just do this Naga thing again. Okay, it doesn't work. We'll go back to something else. And a core pick I expect to come out from LGD this game is Storm Spirit, because that's also, as much as AA has been like a super prioritized support in China so far, Storm Spirit has been a super prioritized core. In fact, I'm yet to watch a game where Storm Spirit doesn't win. There may have been 1 or 2, but every time I've watched a game with Storm in it in China, it's won the game.
No, there was like, maybe I was alone. There was a game yesterday, I can't remember who it was though, where the Storm Spirit just kept going in and trying to kill people. Maybe it was with Sun Tzu.
Was it HGT versus Newbie? That's the one that I wasn't there for.
That was probably it.
Because we cast a series where we actually cast a game yesterday where LGD were playing against who was it now? It was the first series of the day, LGD against eHome, and maybe was playing Storm Spirits in that series, and he died twice in the mid lane, 0-2, and still managed to go to the jungle, make some pickoffs, and end up being like the 2nd or 3rd richest person in the game and making 15 kills for his team. So, But yeah, Zhao has drafted the TA now, which makes me want to take back everything I said and say that we're not going to see a Storm Spirits.
No Storm, no Naga, just go all in. It's quite an aggressive mid laner. It's something we don't usually see nowadays. And the Shadow Fiend against TA matchup, It's nowhere close to what it used to be. TA, used to be able to splash through with side blades, harass down the SF, and then go for a kill between levels 5 and 7. You get some refraction charges up, you get your melt strike and the trap, slow down the SF, kill him under his tower. Now the Shadow Fiend has taken more of a dominant role in this lane. He controls creep equilibrium a lot stronger. He can control runes, but Storm is picked up by VG.P, and that's most likely going safe lane.
Yeah, so I was right that Storm Spirit's going to be for Earthsize. I just called it for the wrong team. Yeah, SF or Storm could be in the safe lane, either one. But you expect that Storm Spirit doesn't want to lane against TA probably. And as you say, Shadow Fiend recently has been doing alright in that lane. So it is most likely going to be a safe lane Storm. The question always comes to mind for me when you see that they're running a safe lane Storm or safe lane SF is, do you consider an aggressive tri-lane? I think AA and Venge are supports that could be paired with a core in the aggressive tri-lane. Yeah. Earthshake is going to be good at reacting to that, but it's basically guaranteed right now that if LGD contest a 3v3, they'll have the stronger lane overall.
Yeah, sometimes we see Axe in an aggro tri-lane up against Storm, because he can just get into the creep wave. He can spin onto Storm, who's relatively low range, but is LGD want to do that? Also, Shadow Fiend, he's not too bad himself. Throwing out razors left and right, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to actually gang him and move on to his lane. So, we're going to be seeing Zeus offlane here, or is this Zeus support? Because that's something that's been coming in and out, whether you want to have Zeus get a relatively early level 6, or if you want him to have that kill potential on lane, which could equally give him some nice boosts in levels.
So, we cast VG gang potential against Terrorblade a few days back, and James, who's their drafter, still currently drafting, actually played Earthshaker in both games that we cast him, and he's probably going to be playing the Earthshaker again, yeah? And I think I remember that he played a really good Earthshaker, actually. He was in the right places at the right times, managing to cover where the lanes he needed and setting up kills, and usually getting a pretty fast blink as well. So I want to keep an eye on him this game, although I feel like TA and Bristleback are two cores that Earthshaker does not excel against. So, I mean, sure, he can still fissure block them, but, he's going to be prey for them in this game.
Yeah, they'll be chasing and hunting him down. VG.P banning out Faceless Void. I guess that's a hero, you can combine up with AA, Vengeful Spirit. It seems unusual, though. Sylar, he's got a bunch of other heroes that he'd love to play here. You could even look at a Lone Druid, LGD, they are lacking in push potential just a little bit. They've got plenty of diving, killing, winning team fights. But do you want something to help you push with a Lone Druid? Do you want more team fight control? You are lacking stuns. All you've got right now for LGD is Vengeful Spirit.
I agree the Void Band's a bit strange because sure it can go with the AA, but it doesn't go too well with the TA or the Bristleback, and those are your cores. We saw Yao run that Bristleback in the offlane yesterday and do extremely well in it. Even though he died early on and the offlane didn't go that well, he ended up getting some XP mid when maybe rotated to the jungle and farmed some stacks and ended up being a really center core piece to them taking that game. Pretty sure maybe he's going to be on the TA as you say, so this fifth pick should be a Sylar pick, most certainly. I guess Sylar can play Bristleback. That is a possibility, so maybe this is a Yao pick.
Yeah.
But since we saw Yao do so well in the Bristleback, I think it's a Sylar pick.
Well, when you look at who Bristle's against, he's not really going to have that rough a time up against Witch Doctor Earthshaker. Maybe the Storm Spirit gets in there, they do a bit of damage. Maledict can be annoying for a Bristle. It's one of the few skills that can force him off lane. So maybe LGD takes that into consideration, switch him back up to the top lane and, go for what? Magnus here? Something to bring people together. That's what I'm looking for. There's no Tide, there's no Batrider, there's no Clockwork. There are none of these heroes that can get into fights, draw people in, or, disable multiple people.
I still want to see LGD attempt that aggressive tri-lane, so I'd maybe Slaughter's for that. I think Slaughter could do well there. No, it's going to be an off-lane Bristleback.
It could just be safe lane Bristleback and then aggressive tri-lane with Sylar, but I don't know.
We don't see that much, although I guess Yao was soloing mid for a very long time in this team. So I suppose he's no stranger to, a strong solo lane. He's not just an off-lane player.
Well, we'll see what they actually do. So we've got VG.P there with Witch Doctor rounding out their draft. Slardar, AA, and Venge. They've got so much minus armor. They have actually so much minus armor. Roshan's going to die in like 3 seconds. Nasal Goo, Amplified Damage, Meld, and the Wave of Terror. VG don't have a really tanky lineup. They've got no one that... They've got one Agi hero, Everyone else is going to get ripped to shreds if they get caught in a team fight. Pickoffs here are going to be relatively easy for LGD if they can get into the right positions.
Yeah. Just to those watching who might not know, the offlane player for VG Gang Potential, the Zeus, his nickname is Secret. That's actually Lin. He's now going by Secret, and Lin used to play for LGD last year actually. There was a stage where they kept changing who their fifth player was. They had Maybe for a while, they had Lin for a while. I can't even remember. They had a few other players try out in that position. I think IC was one of them. But I don't know if that adds some element of like
It's revenge time.
matchness or yeah. You know, it's like I used to play with some of these guys. That was my team.
I know how they think. I'm in their heads. Don't worry,
well, he
team,
certainly
I got
has
this.
more motivation to want to like make a point. You know, it's not just we're an up and coming team trying to show that we've got something going for us. It's, you know, I'm the guy that you said wasn't good enough for your team, and I want to prove I am good enough.
Storm checking out the Roche pit there with all this minus armor. It's definitely possible that LGD may have gone for that. Chilling touch, not too helpful, but you got Meld, Goo, Wave of Terror. It was a possibility, so definitely well spotted there by Dew. Just jumping into the pit of Storm Spirit. Yang gonna take this bot bounty rune as LGD have pretty much surrounded the top one. Secret on this Zeus, I don't know. You can't go in there. You actually cannot go anywhere near this LGD squad. You're gonna get stunned up twice and get taken down most likely. Deep Observer Ward there from the Bristleback. That blocks up the pull through, so that means that there's only ever going to be one pull into this camp here for the Radiant. He should have a decent time fighting up against Witch Doctor. He hasn't got Maledict first, which is sometimes what we see in Europe, where you go Maledict level 1. You throw it out onto the Bristleback and you just keep right-clicking and trading hits and forcing him back.
Just looking at this mid lane, Yang on his Shadow Fiend again. Something interesting about this player Yang, the only two heroes I've seen him play for this team are Shadow Fiend and Wisp. So when they pick the Wisp, he ends up going to support, but generally speaking, he seems to be SF in the mid lane.
Secret. Secret top lane Vortex. Yeah, Magic Missile to follow through. Now Solo with a stun. They get the Crush, and the Vortex is amplifying the damage from the magic damage, but Crush is physical. Solo does come out with the first blood here onto Secret, so that was pretty good for them, but they had a Radiant Ward. Venge didn't smoke.
Yeah, and that's, well, I want to say that's the strength of running the defense, because Witch Doctor TP's in and now MMY might be the one who goes down. Yeah, he is.
Secret dropping low, but just about getting that kill. Right, stream should start back up in 60 seconds. Why does it all happen to me?
Because you're British, and your people are responsible for colonialism. I don't know. That's my best answer. But before that kill happened, by the way, Yao's doing a lot better in his offlane than Secret is in his. I mean, this Zeus was still level 1 at the time they got that return kill on Witch Doctor TP top, so really getting almost nothing on his own. Witch Doctor pretty much forced to stay there to help him. But the fact that that's happening means that now your Bristleback is 1v1 against the Storm Spirit, largely speaking. Yeah, Earthshake has gone to top as well. And Bristleback is going to get a lot of value in a 1v1 lane against the Storm Spirit.
Right, restarted the stream, hopefully that loads back up. Secret, up on top lane, Crush onto 2, Sylar finding an opening. Decent Fisher there, but it's not going to save anyone. So even though James got himself in a decent position, it was just 2 seconds too late.
Okay, something interesting in the mid lane I just saw. Maybe he used a slow trap on Yang, ran forward and hit him. And Yang's instant response was just to ulti, which he's leveled really early.
Oh wow.
And I suppose the idea is that it's multiple instances that ulti, so it can take off refraction. And so if TA tries to dive you exactly as she did there, he just ultis to send her back. But in that case, maybe it actually already started running away and the ulti felt extremely underwhelming. But I like the thinking at least of, here's a way that I can handle TA if she dives me with refraction on.
Yeah, I've restarted the stream and it's still lagging like crap. Guys, I have no idea. I have literally dropped 0 frames. So this is something Twitch's end. I'll keep trying. I'll try and restart the stream a couple of times. But apologies once again.
Well, yesterday Twitch was down several times, right? So it's quite believable that there's problems on the Twitch side of things.
I'll ask the Russians how they're doing.
Oh, maybe we might be in trouble here. He doesn't have a frack for quite a while. Yeah, he's gonna die.
Oh, he pops the meld and tries to hide, but no. Creeps find him when he pops out. Zhao 8.
And again, it's that rotation from James. Really on points on this Earthshaker. It's the only hero I've seen him play so far, but he's done a good job every time.
Why does it have to be me? Everything goes wrong. All of the problems happen when I get here in the morning. But overall, what are we looking at? 41 last hits for the Shadow Fiend, 36 for the TA. I mean, Storm's doing decently on his bot lane, but it's the Radiant that have come out on top early on, last hit wise anyway. But you have to look at them and think, okay, Shadow Fiend, he needs to build up small incremental items and then go for his, item like Yules or BKB or Mech. The Storm Spirit, he wants to go Bloodstone or Orchid. That takes a while to build. Whereas LGD, they don't need a lot of farm early.
And if you look at the golden XP graphs, actually LGD are slightly ahead, and that's because Bristleback is actually a hero at this point, and Zeus isn't a hero yet.
Zeus is 0-0.
Zeus has now moved to the safe lane because he could get nothing in that off lane, and he's going to try 1v1 the Bristleback. But look at Bristleback, he's 25 creeps, he's level 6.
How does Zeus have 0 last hits? He's Zeus for freaking... Well,
he was being zoned by an A. I mean, he couldn't even walk in and arc creeps because in this top lane was kind of higher up than he wanted it to be. And the only value you got out of the lane is when Witch Doctor TP'd and they got a return kill. Which is interesting because it's not something we've seen a lot recently. These like extremely strong defensive tri lanes where you can make the offlaner get nothing. Recently in Dota for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, offlaners usually get something. You try and make them get a bit less, but they usually get something. But yeah, this Zeus really got nothing, and now he's moved to the mid lane. They're just desperate to find a way to get the Zeus to level 6 at very least to that bot rune, but Storm Spirit was already there, so SSS will get that haste. And Sylar actually with a Midas on Slaughter. We were discussing in the draft, they needed a Sylar hero, and then they picked Slaughter, and I actually feel like, I don't know if this is historically a Sylar hero. Normally he's on more farmy heroes. Although a lot of the games they've done well recently, he's been playing stuff like Lycanthrope, and as I said, when he's playing Naga, they've been losing. They did get a win yesterday when he played Medusa, but I'm interested to see what the Slaughter evolves into with that Midas. Because I feel like we usually do see Slaughters rushing Blink Dagger and getting active early on, not just sitting around farming.
This is something that Slash and I have talked about, with heroes like Slark in the Western scene. They go for a Midas early because they can't flash farm mid-game. With the Midas, it's exactly the same on the Slardar. You know that you need a Blink, but with a Midas, you'll get your Blink within a reasonable time, but you'll also secure yourself that period of, 20 to 40 minutes where most of the time Slardar just doesn't get anything. If he's not killing people, he's not getting any gold whatsoever. So with the Midas, then he can go into BKB, AC, get all of his tier 3 items with ease, but when he gets ganked like this, Fisher into Vortex, the Death Ward even flying out, MMI dropping super low Secret, he wants to kill. He's going to throw out the Lightning Bolt, but not quite get it.
Yeah, I can get behind that reasoning. I like the idea of core heroes that farm well in lane, but can't farm well after lane, having a Midas so that they have something to help them get gold after lane. It's just a bit unusual, I feel, on Slaughter. I don't think I've seen it a lot, especially... not especially anything, I just haven't seen it a lot. And Secret on the Zeus, still struggling to find that level 6, whereas the opposing offlaner Yao is now level 8. He only managed to stack the Ancients once before they got blocked, but it's getting value in the safe in the offlane right now anyway. And there's going to be a smoke from Sylar, Zhao maybe. I think this is a Roshan attempt. Yeah, it's an early rush attempt with the amplify damage, the meld, and the wave of terror. And actually Yao joining up with that nasal goose. So as you said, all of the minus armor. Look how fast Roshan goes down. Oh my goodness, I mean, this is 12 minutes in, and I think that's like a 5-second rush or something.
That's freaking nuts. Alright, let's take the stream down again. Okay. We've moved from German ingest to Dutch. So we've gone from Frankfurt to Netherlands now. Let's see if this works out. Amsterdam, here we come.
Okay,
fingers crossed. Well. Bot lane at the rune spot. Zhao 8 getting caught out here by Triple S. Storm Spirit. He's gonna look for this kill, but when Yao... Oh. Yeah. Wow. That confused me for a sec. When Yao gets swapped in with the Thunder God's Wrath happening at the same time, my eyes just sort of flashed. I'm like, oh god, what's going on here?
So Yang has gone for the mechanism, and I did say that the game we saw him by mech, he looked a lot more comfortable in general than the game we saw him by Yules. So I'm not sure why he's decided to get the mech. It might be that he's noticed that his heroes on his team could get burst down extremely fast. At the same time, there's an AA on the other team, so that might have been an argument to go the Yules in this game. I think that interaction is sometimes overstated. I think AA is good against heals, but it's not that easy, especially because AA LT, you want to stand far away from the fight. It's not that easy unless the AA LT is what starts the fight, to make sure that you disable the mech at the right time. And I've missed a kill at the top lane, TA with the haste rune, killing that Storm Spirit.
Storm must have used a lot of his mana getting to lane, or you know, getting last hits or something, because Sylas still doesn't have blink. Maybe sure he has the haste rune, but chasing down a Storm Spirit when he has mana, you know, that's just not possible. So he must have burnt through quite a lot to actually die there. And Sylar, blink is 100 gold away. Now,
yeah, I guess the Storm was about half mana, then he used the rest of his mana to roll away, and the haste rune caught up to him.
Stream is still lagging. What? I actually don't know what's going on.
Is there something wrong with the internet at the join Dota office?
No. Like I would see frames being dropped. If it was the PC lagging, I would see it. But there's no frames being dropped through XSplit. There's no lag or spikes on the preview. Everything is like crystal clear here. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's routing towards Twitch's servers.
That's just bizarre. I mean, if the problems with Twitch have to do with attacks, it's possible that there's some kind of attack. But is that even the case? I don't know.
I don't know. Who do I contact?
Not me. I'll just keep watching this game. And MMY has got his Ogre Club up, so Midas showing an immediate return. I mean, he was part of a kill, so that'll help him out. SSS on the Storm Spirit in the top lane, rushing that Bloodstone, and this is also quite a few of the Chinese Storms that I've seen this week rush the Bloodstone instead of the Orchid. It's a better farming build certainly, especially if you're the safe lane Storm. And yeah, SSS TPs to the bot lane on the back end of a kill on a Vengeful Spirit. They committed a lot of heroes to get just the Vengeful Spirit, but Zeus, who really struggled in lane, you usually don't see going for the Midas. We'll see how it ends up panning out. By the way, I don't know if you noticed when Zhao, we were talking about just now, try to stack the Ancients, he actually didn't hit that stack because of his hesitation.
Oh really?
So Yao went to farm it right after, but the final stack didn't succeed.
Yeah, I've actually tried everything. I've taken off the delay, I've changed servers twice, I've restarted the stream like 6 times, and it looks like it's still lagging. So guys, I really do apologize, there's nothing else I can do, there's no problems here. There are no spikes or frame drops.
Well, for now I guess viewers can try watching Dota TV, and there will be a VOD. Maybe between this game and the next game, we'll be able to resolve the problem.
Yeah, hopefully so. But LGD versus VG.P right now. Have a look at the gold XP graphs. It's 6-6, 20 minutes in. As Storm Spirit jumps in and wants to change this. Ice Blast lands, but SSS dodging the damage. Only going to get hit by the trail. And the swap back from Zhao 8, allowing him to escape with his life. But that was a lot of expenditure from Triple S. Jumping in, bursting about 75% of his mana for a kill on a support, and not even getting it.
And I like to see Yao with that mech on Bristleback yet again. It's actually quite rare to see Bristleback's buying mechanism in the Western scene. We did see in Southeast Asia, we saw that when MVP ran the Bristleback, March was very often running that mech. But even then it was a lot of the time with the IO, with the Wisp on his team. Whereas Yao seems to be running the mech most games that he plays Bristleback, just in general. And I think that's a reasonable pickup. I mean, mechanism an item that's been out of favor for a while. But I like the idea specifically of a Bristleback having mechanism because Bristleback wants to dive deep, and a lot of the time that can be a problem if his teammates dive with him and they're not as tanky as him. But if you've got that mech, it means that other people can dive with you and you can protect them as well.
Okay, I've got tech people adding me. Come on, give me your answer. Tell me your secrets on how to fix this problem. Roshan. I've spotted out that it's alive.
I mean, they can kill it so fast. I don't even know if there's any risk, even if the other team there, because the way the fight started, it looked really promising for them. I mean, you spoke about how Vengeful Spirit was an important kill, but actually they killed Sylar right at the start of the fight. The Storm Spirit basically 1v1 the Slaughter at the beginning of the fight, and if I'm VG Gaming Potential, I might think their safe lane carry died before the fight started. This is a good idea. But unfortunately, the TA and Bristleback are both extremely strong, and the TA is the one who had the Aegis, so staying a bit too long, and Storm actually out of mana had to TP out after killing Slaughter, so in that sense it was actually just 4v4 anyway.
Alright, let's see if this works. The VOD is going to have to be cut together because I had to restart XSplit and start the local recording again, so we're going to have two separate VODs that we'll try and cut together, but hopefully this works, maybe. But I've restarted XSplit. This is like the final chance now to see if the stream works. Xiao 8 is picking up a pipe for himself. Not really something you see too often on Vengeful Spirit. I don't know if you mentioned that. My brain has been looking elsewhere.
I didn't mention it, but what I'm more interested in is that MMY is about to have his Aghanims. 25 minutes into the game, Ancient Apparition level 2 ulti with Aghanims. I mean, that just seems like the icing on the cake. We've already seen a super dominant TA, Bristleback, and less so Slaughter actually, but with that AA ulti, it's going to be so difficult for VG Gaming Potential to do anything in these fights. And look at this Zeus. I mean, he got his Midas, but he's got nothing since then.
And that dog fights, man! Chased down by Yao and hunted by Maybe. Requiem's thrown out, but the double BKBs popped instantly. Simultaneous BKBs there from LGD as they're just diving tier 3s. Yang being chased down deep inside his base. I don't know, Yao. You've got mech, but you don't have Aegis Immortal. He's probably going to get taken down here. The TA goes back in. Storm dropping low, but Yao is on the retreat. Gets Fisher down, and finally, LGD losing some heroes. Maybe. What's your plan now? Yeah, but then? Do you buy a TP and then blink? What?
Well, if his refraction cools down, he could make a kill here. I really think he could.
Well, he's Echo Slam, Fisher blocked in. Yang, go for the Earthshaker, I think. Yeah, turn back around with Mel Strike. The Death Ward, though, is going to finish him off. Diving into Fountain.
Yeah. You know, the original dive against the Shadow Fiend, I mean, firstly, there's a tier 2 up, and they dive past the tier 3 and then the tier 4. Which is quite a big dive, but the original dive on the Shadow Fiend, if he didn't have BKB, is totally legit. Like, the TA and the Bristleback will kill him. What I just don't understand is they saw that he was BKB. It's a really long BKB, it was like his second or third of the game. And they kept chasing, even though they had no way to slow him down or disable him.
Yeah. Well, they got a couple of kills. They went in there and killed the Zeus, killed the Watch Doctor, they were dead. But going further is, I don't know, that's close to throwing. They are still pretty far ahead, but those couple of kills will give Shadow Fiend a nice little boost of gold. Getting him up towards that Manta style now.
Yeah, and Sylar farming up. I'm not sure what his next item is. He has picked up that BKB. I suppose that's all the Slaughter needs, and he's gonna make maybe two kills here.
Sylar,
yeah,
Sylar with a bash. Secret goes down after the Earthshaker falls. The BKB from Sylar, coupling it up with the Ice Blast. Like, that was perfect timing. Ice Blast into Crush.
Yeah, Ice Blast, we've spoken a lot this week about how it combines with the Storm, combines with the Queen of Pain, but really any hero that can jump on you, any hero that can blink on you and initiate really fast is going to do really well with the Ice Blast, because that means the Ice Blast can be on at the start of the fight, and I just keep missing TA picking people off. It's happening so much that...
Well, that was a 1 versus 1 on Shadow Fiend, who was pretty close to that tier 2 tower bot.
Yeah, but she probably blinked right on top of him, Meld Striked, and...
Dead.
Takes a few more hits, yeah. And she's bought a S and Y. I haven't seen a lot of that on TA before either, but it's definitely going to help her diving, which is clearly what maybe is enjoying doing.
Well, we've seen it on Brax and Wagamama in the west. They go for Sanjin Yasha and then maybe a Skadi, depending on how well they're doing. But with this Desolator, you kind of expect Crit to come next for maybe.
Is that S and Y build that they do, is that only since the increased popularity of all these stat builds, or is that something that they used to just always do on tier?
It's something that's more recent, but I think it was around the same time as it started becoming popular. I don't know if it was a result of, or it just so happened to be, coincidentally around that time.
Alright, because I feel like historically when tier was peaking, we've never actually seen an S and Y build during those stages, but it's a new era of Dota, and lot of, I mean, pretty much every strength or agility hero buys S and Y in some games at the moment.
Well, base siege comes next for LGD. How do they go about it though? Find a pick off, get a kill in the jungle, because right now they've got the chokehold down onto VG.P.
I mean, they could just keep getting free Roshan kills because of how fast they kill him and because of the fact that they're ahead. But Shadow Fiend picks up his Manta, and actually Storm Spirit with the Shiva's Guard. It's a very interesting pickup. Orchid's not going to do anything at this stage, but I feel like Hex could be helpful. Shiva's is going to do something against all the minus armor.
I guess the way you look at it is that the 3 cores in LGD have hexes. If you don't get the hex before the BKB, then hex is going to be worthless as well. You know, maybe you get the A or Venge, but they aren't high priority targets. So unless you're the ones with the initiative and you can zip in and hex someone, then actually make the fight happen where you want it, then I see hex being a good item. But VG.P right now, they're on the defensive. Shiva's gives them the increased armor, but it also slows down the attacks of heroes like Slardar, Bristle, and TA, who rely quite heavily on their attack speed just to pump out that damage that they build up.
Yeah, so it makes sense in that sense. There's a lot of right clickers. I mean, all 3 of the cores are doing a lot of right clicking, so Shiva's slowing the attack, giving armor, and all that minus armor. But, yeah, I could get behind it. I still find it interesting because it's just not the, it's certainly not the progression I'm used to on the safe lane Storm, Bloodstone into Shiva's. I mean, what's his pick-off power with Bloodstone Shivas? He can kill a support still, but I don't see him ever being able to pick off a core on his own. Whereas, if he's got that Hex, it's probably a possibility. I say that though, but look how farmed all the cores are on LGD. He's probably never going to pick any of them off, so sure. And Yao's got the S and Y as well. Does Silo buy S and Y, so they've got 3 of them?
Yeah, why not? 4-man smoke here from VG.P. They're hunting for someone, but Yao has a DD. He's going to bail himself out because his teammates are leaving him here. I don't think VG.P actually find anything.
You know, for a Slardar, and I mean, I spoke about this a bit at the start of the game, but for a Slardar, I feel like Silo's been quite uninvolved in this game. I mean, if you just look at the heroes, you'd expect the Slardar to be fighting more and the TA to be farming more, but actually, maybe he's just been rampaging through the map, making kills, and Silo only occasionally joining up. I've seen him a lot of times in this top lane.
Over to the Ancients. MMY. Storm is going for a kill here. Good Fisher down from James. And the Storm Spread doesn't have any mana left. Can just about zip himself up onto this high ground. Yao, though, he wants to kill. TP from Triple S. Is there follow-up? Blink, swap. Yeah, they've got the swap down. Storm Spread now stunned and maybe going to one-hit kill. Not quite in time before the deny.
Just in time. Yeah. Maybe actually doesn't have an assist yet. Something funny I noticed. I mean, it's a pretty irrelevant statistic because all that says is that every time he's involved in a kill because he has so much damage, he's the one who gets the last hit. And I guess he has been making a high number of solo kills, but Silo's now got 5,800 gold on Slaughter, and he's sending the credit to the secret shop, is he? No, he's not. I thought he was. I wonder what he's gonna do with that gold. He's sending a smoke. No? Yeah, it's just the courier we're sending to the secret shop. It's a Hyperstone into Assault Cuirass, which is a very standard Slardar build. And even more armor reduction will counteract the extra armor from Shiva's pretty well. Will also counteract the attack speed slow from Shiva's extremely well, giving everyone more attack speed.
Where are these frames going? Where are they going?
They're being eaten by the frame demon. Have none of your friendly specialists been able to help you?
No. I might have to restart the PC and see if that fixes it, but I don't know. I guess that's the last thing that I'll have to try.
I suppose, didn't you say to me this morning that you're using a different computer to what you used yesterday?
No, this is the same PC that I was using yesterday morning. but I was going to use a different studio because we were doing the ISO Cup in here last night, and we've got all the backgrounds and stuff for that. So I was going to use Studio 3 to let Cap come in here later in tonight, not really have to worry about anything. And then we had some issues in Studio 3 with one of the hard drives. Moved back into Studio 2, moved the backgrounds. That's why they had the white wall behind me, and there's no cool looking Danny Dam artwork or anything like that. But LGD, they're breaking up into high ground. There's a swap onto Secret, but he gets off his Thunder God's Wrath. I don't know how much that actually did though. SSS jumps in to try and find Shari, but maybe and Yao, they're on the hunt. Rampaging through the ranks now of VG.P, taking down one. Can they find more? Yep, they can. Maybe with a triple kill, and maybe even another with SSS jumping back into the fountain. Storm? He wanted MMI right there. Maybe he is going to make him pay for this, though. Fisher does block him off. SSS is on the retreat, but maybe he's not going to give up that easily. If they dive tier 4s and Fountain for a kill on Shadow Fiend, you can bet they're going to go and dive tier 3 for a kill on Storm. LGD, it looks like they're having fun right now.
Yeah, and VG Game Potential not having fun will GG out and maybe give us an opportunity to try and figure out what's wrong with the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a way to figure out what's the difference between this stream and the Russian stream if the Russian one is working.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and figure this out, guys. Apologies once again. I'll see if restarting everything. I'll just go down to the basement and turn all the power off and then turn it all back on, and maybe then that fixes it. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes with game number 2 between LGD and VG.P. Hopefully you guys stay tuned, and I really do apologize.